Hello everyone, and welcome to part 3 of D&D in the Art of Awkward. We're continuing our story of the world called Atem. Today we will continue with a little bit of the history of this world and part of what the people have done. In particular to the Green Continent, which is where most of this story has been taking place. The Green Continent it's the youngest of the group, but it is also some of the most interesting in terms of what the people have chosen to do with it. Along all of the continents, there was at one point one ruler who ruled over each individual continent, so a total of 4. Those 4 rulers instituted within their lands a greater purpose of a night that could reach for the soul of the aspect of Tiamat that was laid to rest there, and is carved out as the body of water in the middle of all 4 of them. In the Greenland, that meant that they had a green warrior. The armor and different relics and pieces were created from the pieces of little green scales that were left over from the aspect of Tiamat. All of them that could possibly be found throughout the land were brought together and forged into a great set of armor, and particularly one that holds more the shape reminiscent of an old world Japanese samurai, complete with a mask, helmet, bracers, even a pair of stone eyes that would go within the helm. And those pieces, when brought together on that great warrior, being called the Green Knight or the Green Samurai for this particular world, was made to be able to communicate with the green aspect so that they could have a possibility of finding the white aspect and doing what they felt needed to be done. The feelings towards the white aspect who went by and goes by the mouthpiece varied, very much due to the different types of worlds that were created from what the Golden Mass would do, which, as I explained earlier, compelled people to do what their greatest desire was, at whatever cost it was to themselves or anyone else, creating often areas of great violence and conflict to be able to come to the means of an end of whatever someone so desired. Within the Green Continent, it had caused a lot more discord than it had ever caused anything good. So the Green Continent in particular, and the Green Queen, desired to bring down the mouthpiece and to either fuse her to the spirit of the Green Dragon and possibly every other continent, to be able to pull her back together again and possibly rid the world of having such a tyrant ruler. Of the Green Knight, the Green Samurai, a great shogun was made underneath the Green Knight. The greater Green Queen was able to manage some of the other different parts of the land, and there were a great many things that they were responsible for. So the Green Knight created the Green Shogun that was made specifically to be able to kind of disperse a little bit more of the power and even give to their different, people below them all the pieces that they needed to be able to rule and take care of the different parts of the land and bring greater prosperity to everyone. There was definitely resistance met in different places, which is part of how the Green Knight's great full set of armor ended up being broken apart and given to other parts of the land. As a different knight needed something of greater power, the samurai would give them a piece of their armor to help them overcome that conflict, which really broke apart and really sent out everything. It was yet another old war that called out to the people and created more conflict and continued the cycle of things continuing to be different. Eventually, as time went on and we grew to the close of what would be the downfall of this particular group on this continent, it was something where the splintering and factions that were created underneath them, as each branch fingered more and more outward, everything became more, from one seat of power there became more seats of power, and everything kind of falling down into the middle. There was a greater world created, a lot of it having to do with making the seeds of the towns that would eventually become revealed, or even the ruins of past towns. And that is part of what the PCs are finding, is all the different pieces of this world and all of its different stories and everything that came together with its greatness. But as the time of the Green Queen and the Green Knight came to a close, the last Green Knight was defeated in a battle against the White Aspect. He was put literally below ground. His body was thrust to the bottom of the mountains beneath the eventually dwarven, town called Burgahorn, and he was buried at the very bottom of it. The Green Queen was slain, and everything kind of fell apart. The world of Atem shattered, and a vacuum of power was created. Things like Golden Scale began their time here. Other different adversaries had been present during the time of the Green Samurai and the Green Queen, but nothing like Golden Scale had yet existed. But conflict had always existed. The world continued to kind of shatter and create more and more issues, and everything that kind of fell apart until a great fated change happened. And a particular PC was killed in their own lifetime, and someone close to that PC was born again as a greater being for them to learn from, possibly fight, or possibly make friends. We'll continue with their story in the next part. Thank you. I'll see you then.